The great alien council chamber was silent at first. It was a giant room made of dark metal and blue lights. The walls curved like a dome and every sound echoed inside it. Dozens of alien leaders sat around a long table, their faces cold and proud. They believed their empire was the strongest in the galaxy. Today they gathered to make one big decision. They wanted to attack Earth. The council leader, a tall alien with silver skin, raised his hand. Humans are small, he said. They are weak. They are divided. Their weapons are simple. If we crush them now, we take their world and their resources. Many council members nodded. They already imagined victory. They imagined their empire growing even larger. But then, the giant metal doors opened. An old alien commander walked in slowly. His steps were heavy. His eyes were filled with fear. His armor looked old and damaged as if it had survived terrible battles. Every alien in the room turned to stare at him. The council leader frowned. Commander Varric? Why are you here? You were not invited. Varric did not bow or show respect. He looked straight at the council and spoke with a shaking voice. Do not attack the humans, he said. You do not understand their true power. The chamber exploded with laughter. Many leaders hit the table with their hands, amused by the warning. One alien general smirked. Humans? Power? You must be joking, old man. But Varric did not smile. His face was hard, his eyes full of old memories, memories that hurt. You laugh now, he said softly, but you will not laugh when your cities burn and your fleets fall from the sky. The room went silent again. Varric took a deep breath. I fought the humans many years ago. I was part of the first attack on them. We believed the same thing you believe now, that humans were weak. But we were wrong. Humans are not like other species. Several council members shifted uncomfortably. The tone of the room began to change. Varric stepped forward. Humans are unpredictable. They do not give up. When they are threatened, they become dangerous. They become something else, something fierce. I have never seen such bravery in any species. Even when they are destroyed, they rise again. A younger general narrowed his eyes. You exaggerate. Humans do not have advanced technology. No, Varric agreed. But they have something stronger. Willpower, rage, hope, and the ability to adapt faster than any species we have ever faced. He looked around the room slowly, letting his words sink in. When we attacked their colony, Varric continued, we thought it would be easy. But the humans fought until their last breath. They were outnumbered. Their weapons were weaker. But they kept coming. Again and again. Even when fire covered the ground. Even when their buildings fell. Even when death was certain. A quiet chill filled the chamber. Varric's voice became lower. They almost destroyed my entire unit. I was one of the few who survived. And the scars I carry, no medicine can heal them. The council leader rolled his eyes. You speak like a frightened old soldier. Humans are nothing compared to us. But then Varric did something no one expected. He removed his armor. Piece by piece. The metal clanged against the floor. Under the armor, his skin was covered with scars, deep, dark, twisted scars that looked like they were burned into his body. Some scars glowed faintly as if human weapons had left energy inside them. Many council members gasped. Some stepped back. These wounds, Varric said, pointing to a long scar across his chest, came from human fire. Not normal fire. A kind of weapon they built in desperation. A weapon made from their own ship's reactor material. They used it to stop us, even if it meant sacrificing themselves. He paused. That is why you must fear them. But the council leader shook his head stubbornly. His pride was stronger than his wisdom. We are the Empire, he declared. We do not fear savages. Prepare the invasion fleet. We will crush Earth before they learn to crawl. The old commander closed his eyes. His warning had failed. Several soldiers entered the chamber, carrying invasion plans, maps of Earth and attack routes. The council celebrated, already dreaming of victory. But in one corner of the room, a young alien general watched Varric carefully. His face was troubled. His hands trembled slightly. There was something in Varric's scars that he could not ignore. Something real. Something terrifying. As the meeting ended, Varric looked at the young general as if he knew what he was thinking. It is already too late, Varric whispered. You have woken something that should have remained sleeping. The young general swallowed hard. Outside the window, the first invasion ships lifted into the sky, shining, powerful, and ready for war. The council believed this would be an easy victory. But deep inside, the young general felt the truth. The real war had just begun. and it would be nothing like they expected. The invasion fleet rose into the dark sky like a wave of metal. Hundreds of ships formed glowing shapes above the alien capital, their engines shaking the ground. Every alien citizen looked up with pride, believing this was the start of another easy victory. But the old commander, Varric, watched with heavy eyes. He knew the truth. He knew the fleet was flying toward a storm, one far more deadly than any of them understood. Inside the council chamber, the young general, Tarek, remained still. The others celebrated, their voices loud and arrogant, but Tarek could not forget the scars on Varric's body. No alien weapon could do that. No ordinary enemy could force a commander like Varric to carry fear in his eyes. Tarek whispered to himself, "What kind of humans can do this?" But no one heard him. No one cared. Hours later, Tarek left the chamber and found Varric standing alone on a balcony overlooking the sky. The old commander's armor rested beside him, the metal still shaking from the fear he had tried to hide. "You believe me," Varric said without turning around. Tarek hesitated, then nodded slowly. I don't know what to believe. The council says humans are weak. But your scars say something different." Varric let out a tired breath. "Sit," he said. "You deserve to know what really happened." Tarek sat beside him, and for a moment both aliens watched the invasion fleet disappear into the darkness of space. Then Varric began. "The flashback begins. It was many cycles ago," Varric said. "Long before you became a general. Our empire had found a small human colony on the edge of their solar system. It looked simple, only a few buildings, a few defenses. The council wanted to take it to test the strength of the human race." Tarek listened closely. "We expected an easy battle," Varric continued. "Our ships surrounded the colony. Our soldiers landed on the ground. At first the humans were shocked. They had never seen aliens before. But within minutes everything changed." "How?" Tarek asked. Varric's eyes hardened. "Humans adapted. Faster than any species we have ever studied." He looked down at the scars on his arms. Even without preparation they organized themselves. Civilians became fighters. Engineers became weapon builders. People who had never touched a gun before stood on rooftops and fired on our soldiers. Tarek's throat tightened. "But their weapons, they are primitive." Varric shook his head sharply. "Primitive does not mean harmless. Humans use everything they have. Fear turns them brave, pain turns them angry, hopelessness turns them unstoppable." He paused, remembering the horror. "They fought like they had nothing to lose. Even when we melted their defenses, they rebuilt them. Even when their buildings collapsed, they dug tunnels. Even when their soldiers fell, others picked up their weapons and continued the fight." Tarek felt cold inside. "How long did the battle last?" 17 days, Varric said softly. 17 days for a tiny colony we expected to take in 1 hour." Tarek sat in stunned silence. "The turning point. But the worst part," Varric continued, "was their final attack. We had pushed them to their last base. They had no ships left. No heavy weapons. We thought they would surrender." Varric's voice lowered. "But humans do not surrender." He pointed at a long scar running across his chest. "They created a weapon from the core of their own damaged ship. A weapon so unstable it could explode at any moment. They carried it into our lines with their bare hands." Tarek's eyes widened. "That's suicide." "Yes," Varric said. "And they did it willingly. To stop us." He looked up at the stars again. "The explosion destroyed hundreds of our soldiers. It melted armor. It tore through shields. That is how I received these scars. I was lucky to survive." Tarek whispered, "And the humans?" "All of them died," Varric said quietly, "but not before sending a message to Earth." He remembered the message as if he had heard it yesterday. "We will return. We will rebuild. We will not forget." The words echoed in Tarek's mind like a warning bell. The message that changed everything. "What happened after?" Tarek asked. Varric's voice became tense. "Earth responded. They sent scouts. Then warships. Then entire fleets. Every time we struck them they came back stronger. They learned our tactics. They copied our technology. They improved it." He looked at Tarek with deep seriousness. "That is why I fear them. Humans grow stronger every time they are pushed. And now our fleet is heading toward their home. Toward their strongest world." Tarek felt a chill run down his spine. He understood now. The council had made a mistake. A deadly one. Before he could speak, a loud alarm echoed through the city. A communication officer ran toward them, panic in his voice. "General Tarek. Commander Varric. A message from the invasion fleet." Tarek's heart raced. What message? The officer's hands trembled. The first wave of ships has disappeared. Tarek froze. Varric closed his eyes again. It begins, he whispered. The communication officer's voice shook as he repeated the message. The first wave of ships has disappeared. General Tarek stared at him, unable to speak. Varric did not move either. The air around them felt heavier, as if the entire city suddenly understood something was terribly wrong. Tarek finally managed to whisper, "How can ships just disappear?" The officer swallowed hard. Sensors lost contact. No explosion detected. No distress call. No debris. It is like something swallowed them whole. Varric closed his eyes. Humans? Tarek turned to him. But humans don't have technology to hide or erase entire alien ships. Varric shook his head slowly. No, not before. But humans learn. They study. They adapt. And they grow stronger in silence. A second alarm screamed through the entire capital. Red lights flashed across the buildings. New messages poured in, each worse than the last. Second wave lost. No response from the fleet. Unknown interference detected. General Tarek grabbed the officer by the shoulders. What interference? Something blocking our scanners, the officer said. Something powerful. Our systems cannot analyze it. Varric's chest tightened. Stealth technology? The officer nodded weakly. Yes, but far more advanced than ours. Tarek felt the same cold fear he saw earlier on Varric's face. How did humans build something like that? He whispered. Varric answered with a tired voice. Because when we destroyed their colony, Earth did not cry. Earth prepared. Inside the war control room. Minutes later, Tarek and Varric stood inside the Empire's war control room, a massive chamber filled with glowing screens and floating star maps. Officers shouted orders, their voices filled with panic. The main display showed the alien invasion route toward Earth, but large red sections were now blinking. Those sections represented missing ships. Show me the last recorded image from the first wave, Tarek ordered. An officer tapped on a panel. A hologram appeared in the air. It showed the alien ships flying in formation, moving past a quiet part of space. Then, a strange distortion appeared behind them, like ripples in water. But in space, the ships reacted too late. The distortion expanded, and the entire fleet vanished inside it. Tarek stepped back in shock. What was that? An officer answered, unknown. Possibly a human-created gravity field. Or a warp snare. Or, he hesitated. Or a trap. Varric nodded. Humans are not stupid. If they know we are coming, they will not wait for us to attack their planet. They will take the fight to our fleet. Tarek stared at the hologram again. Are you saying humans built something that can swallow entire starships? Yes, Varric said. And they probably built it using our own stolen technology. The first human message. Suddenly, every screen in the room went black. Officers panicked. We are hacked. Someone is inside our system. A loud, static-filled voice echoed through every speaker. It was human. Come. Colt. This is Earth Defense Command. Your fleet has entered restricted space. Everyone in the room froze. The voice continued. We warned you after the colony war. We sent messages. We asked for peace. You ignored us. Varric's heart pounded. Tarek's hands clenched into fists. The human voice remained steady. Your first wave has been neutralized. Your second wave is contained. Turn back now, or face destruction. The message ended. For a moment, the war control room was silent. Then chaos erupted. What do they mean by contained? How did they hack our system? What weapons are they using? Tarek slammed his fist onto the table. Humans should not have this power. They are not supposed to. Supposed to be weak? Varric said quietly. Tarek gritted his teeth but said nothing. For the first time in his life, he doubted everything he believed about humans, and everything the Empire had taught him. The human fleet appears. The officer monitoring the long-distance scanners suddenly jumped from his seat. General. Multiple signatures detected. How many? Tarek asked. The officer's voice trembled. 70, no 90, no, over 100. Tarek felt fear grip his chest. Are they our ships? The officer swallowed. No, they're human. A hologram switched on automatically, showing a distant part of space. Across the dark void, dozens, no hundreds, of human warships slowly appeared. Some looked new. Some looked like upgraded versions of stolen alien technology. All of them radiated power. But the scariest thing, No one detected them arriving. No hyperspace jump. No engine trail. No signature. They simply appeared. Tarek whispered, "Impossible?" Varric answered, "It is not impossible for humans. It is their nature. They evolve faster than any species." The officer cried out, "General, the human ships are activating weapons." Tarek shouted, "Prepare defenses. Get the fleet on communication." But before any commands could be executed, a final human message appeared on every screen. This time one sentence. "Do not attack Earth again." The first strike. And then it happened. The human fleet fired. Not lasers. Not missiles. Something else. A strange wave of blue energy spread across space, silently washing over the alien invasion fleet. When it reached the ships, their shields shattered instantly. Engines died. Weapons shut down. Entire starships went dark. Tarek felt the blood drain from his face. "What kind of weapon does this?" Varric answered without emotion. "A weapon made by a species that refuses to die." As more alien ships fell powerless, one truth became clear. The invasion was no longer a battle. It was a disaster. A disaster created by their own arrogance. Tarek looked at Varric with fear. "What will humans do now?" Varric's expression turned grim. "They will respond. Harder than we can imagine." The war control room shook as more reports came in. Officers shouted over each other, trying to understand what was happening, but the truth became clear quickly. Humans were not defending anymore. They were advancing. General Tarek stood frozen, his hands on the table, staring at the live hologram of the invasion fleet. One by one alien ships went dark like dying stars. Thousands of soldiers were trapped inside powerless vessels, drifting helplessly. "This cannot be happening," Tarek whispered. But it was happening. It was happening fast. Varric stepped closer to the main screen. His voice was calm, but his eyes showed deep pain. "This is only the beginning. Humans do not start fights, but they always finish them." The officers looked at him with fear. Tarek turned to Varric. "How did they create a weapon that shuts down entire fleets?" "Our scientists said humans were centuries behind us." Varric answered quietly, "They were. But humans learn faster than any species in the galaxy. They steal our technology, study it, and improve it. And when we forced them into war, they had a reason to evolve." Behind them, more alarms went off. "General, Sector 9 fleet has just gone dark." "General, we lost contact with the forward command." "General, the human ships have surrounded our second wave." Tarek shouted, "Where is our backup fleet? Call them in. We need reinforcements." But an officer answered with horror in his voice. "General, the reinforcements are not coming. Humans hit them first. They destroyed our hyperspace gate." Tarek's eyes widened. "Destroyed? How?" The officer trembled. "With one shot." The room fell silent. One shot. A weapon capable of destroying a hyperspace gateway, something even the Empire struggled to do, had been created by humans. Tarek whispered, "How did they become so strong? How did they hide all this?" Varric looked at him. "Do you remember what the humans said after their colony fell?" Tarek nodded slowly. "They said, 'We will rebuild, we will not forget.'" Varric nodded. "And they meant it." The council meets again. The council chamber filled once more, but this time there was no pride on the leaders' faces. Only fear. Deep shaking fear. The council leader slammed his hands on the table. "This is impossible. Humans cannot overpower our empire." One general shouted, "Our fleets are falling apart. Our communications are collapsing. We must negotiate." Another shouted back, "We should launch our superweapons. Destroy their world before they destroy ours." The room turned into chaos. Tarek and Varric entered the chamber as the shouting continued. The council leader pointed at Varric angrily. You knew this would happen. Why did you not warn us sooner?" Varric stared at him coldly. "I did. You refused to listen." The council leader's face twisted with frustration. "We are losing everything. Our empire is collapsing. What do we do now?" Varric answered in a voice that filled the chamber. "You apologize." The room went silent instantly. A council member yelled, "Apologize? To humans?" Another shouted, "We are the Empire. We bow to no one." Varric leaned forward. "Then your empire will die." No one replied. The human advance. Inside the war control room, new images arrived. Human ships were not just disabling alien fleets, they were moving closer, deeper into alien territory. Human stealth carriers appeared near border defense stations. Human drones scanned alien outposts silently. Human warships were forming a blockade around the Empire's main trade routes. Tarek felt his heart pounding. "We thought humans were slow," he said quietly. "But they moved faster than anyone expected." "Yes," Varric replied. "Because humans have something no technology can measure." Tarek looked at him. "What is that?" Varric answered. "Determination." The officers stared at the screens. Human ships moved with precision, working together as if they shared one mind. Every attack was planned. Every move was perfect. Tarek swallowed hard. "What is their goal? Why are they moving into our territory?" Varric's voice became dark. "They want us to understand. They want us to feel the fear they felt. They want us to know that humanity is not prey." The human ultimatum. Suddenly, a single human ship appeared near the capital world. Just one. A massive triangular vessel with glowing lines across its hull. It looked unlike any alien ship, smooth, powerful, silent. The entire Empire watched. And then a voice transmission arrived. The same calm human voice from earlier. "This is Earth Defense Command. We will say this one final time." Every officer, every soldier, every council member listened in frozen silence. "Stop your invasion." The voice paused. "Or your empire burns." The message ended. No threat. No anger. Only cold certainty. Tarek felt sweat drip down his neck. Varric spoke softly. "This is our last chance. If we do not step back now, humans will destroy everything we have." The council leader looked around the chamber, fear choking him. What do we do?" Varric answered with the truth. "We choose." The Empire had reached the point of no return. One wrong move, and humanity would unleash a storm no alien had ever survived. The council chamber felt colder than ever before. Every alien leader sat in silence, afraid to speak, afraid to breathe too loudly. The human message repeated in their minds like a haunting echo. "Stop your invasion, or your empire burns." General Tarek felt his chest tighten. He had never heard a threat so calm, yet so final. It was not the tone of a desperate species. It was the tone of a predator giving its prey one last chance to run. Varric stood at the center of the chamber, his scars glowing faintly under the lights. Every leader looked at him now, not with mockery but with fear and respect. "What do humans want?" one council member asked. Varric answered, "They want us to understand their strength. They want peace, but they will not hesitate to destroy us if we force them." The council leader's voice trembled. "We still have fleets. We still have weapons." Varric shook his head. "Humans have already shut down half our forces. If we fire now, they will respond with full power. And you have not seen their full power." Tarek watched the debate unfold, but his attention was pulled away when an officer suddenly rushed into the room. "Emergency alert," the officer yelled. "A human ship has entered low orbit above the capital." The chamber exploded with noise. "What? That is impossible. How did a human ship get this close? Where are our defenses? Why didn't we detect them?" The officer looked pale. We didn't detect them at all. The ship simply appeared." Varric's voice was calm. "Stealth technology. Humans upgraded it using our own designs." The council ran to the balcony overlooking the sky, and their breaths caught in their throats. There it was. A massive human warship, shaped like a silent blade, hovering above their world. Black metal, glowing blue lines, and no visible engines. It floated effortlessly, blocking the sun with its enormous size. Tarek whispered, "It's beautiful." Then quickly corrected himself, "Terrifying, but beautiful." The human broadcast. A spotlight from the human ship illuminated the council tower as a hollow screen formed in the sky. Every citizen, soldier, and leader saw the same image. A human commander. He wore dark armor with a glowing Earth emblem on the chest. His eyes were sharp, calm, and confident. He began speaking. "I am Commander Hayes of the Earth Defense Fleet." His voice echoed across the entire planet. "You attacked our worlds. You destroyed our colonies. You killed our people." No one dared to speak. "But we did not strike back out of hatred," Hayes continued. "We gave you warnings. We sent messages. We asked for peace." He paused. "You refused." The air felt suffocating. "This is your final warning. Step back now. End your invasion. And we will leave you in peace." The council leader tried to speak, but his voice broke. "And if we don't?" Hayes' expression did not change. "Then we will do to your empire what you did to our colony." Varric felt every word carve into him. The human commander continued, "We do not destroy unless forced. But if you force us, we will not stop." And then the human ship revealed its weapons. Not with explosions. Not with noise. But with light. Hundreds of energy channels lit up along its sides, blue, white, and gold lines glowing with unimaginable power. Tarek felt his knees weaken. "I have never seen power like this, not even from our superweapons." Varric nodded. "Because humans did not copy our weapons. They improved them." Inside the Empire Military Command. Panic swept through military command centers across the planet. Officers shouted, soldiers rushed to stations, alarms screamed everywhere. But nothing changed. The human ship remained untouched. Untouchable. One officer ran to Tarek. "General, should we fire?" Tarek stared at the giant ship. His heart raced. His mind wanted to say yes, but everything Varric had shown, everything he had seen, everything he felt, told him no. "No," Tarek said quietly. "Firing now would be suicide." The officer hesitated, shocked. But the council." "The council is afraid," Tarek said sharply. "Fear creates foolish decisions. We need wisdom now." The officer lowered his head. Varric placed a hand on Tarek's shoulder. "You understand now," he said softly. "You finally see what I saw years ago." Tarek nodded weakly. "Humans, they are not prey. They are not weak. They are." He searched for the right word. Varric finished it for him. "Survivors." Across the planet, the arrival of more human ships. The sky suddenly darkened. More ships. Bigger ships. Stronger ships. In perfect formation. One by one, human warships dropped out of stealth mode above the capital, surrounding the first ship like wolves circling their territory. There were at least 20 of them. The people on the planet cried out in shock and terror. One officer shouted, "General, we are completely surrounded." Another screamed, "Our orbital defenses have been hacked." A third yelled, "We have no control of the sky." Tarek watched in awe. Humans had arrived, not as victims, but as the dominant force. As a species that had risen from ashes. As a species that refused to bow. The final human message before everything changes. Commander Hayes appeared again on the sky screen. "This is your last chance. End this war before it destroys you. We do not want your empire. We do not want your worlds." He leaned slightly forward. "We only want peace." His eyes hardened. "But if you bring war to Earth again." A low rumble echoed through the sky as the human ships aimed their weapons at the capital. "You will not survive what comes next." The message ended. Silence fell across the empire. A heavy silence. A suffocating silence. The kind of silence that comes right before history changes forever. Tarek turned to Varric. What will the council choose?" Varric looked at the glowing human ships with respect and fear. "I do not know," he said. "But whatever they choose, it will decide the fate of our entire empire." The entire capital city stood frozen under the shadow of the human fleet. 20 giant ships hovered in perfect silent formation, like enormous steel beasts waiting for a command. In the council chamber, every leader stared at the sky with fear in their eyes. They had believed humans were weak, slow, unadvanced. Now they saw the truth. Humans had grown stronger than anyone imagined. Tarek felt sweat rolling down his skin. His hands trembled even though he tried to stand firm. He had fought many wars, but this was the first time he felt completely powerless. Varric stood next to him, calm but heavy-hearted. "This is the moment," Varric whispered. "We choose peace, or we choose destruction." The council leader finally spoke, but his voice cracked like old metal. What do humans want from us?" Varric answered, "They want one thing. For us to stop attacking them. That is all." One council member slammed his fist on the table. "They humiliated our fleets. They hacked our systems. They invaded our sky." Varric replied sharply, "Because we forced them. Humans warned us many times. We never listened." The council fell silent again. Outside, the human warships glowed brighter. The weapons began charging, lines of blue and gold energy forming across their armored hulls. Tarek whispered, "If they fire, the entire city will vanish." Varric nodded. "Yes. And that will only be the beginning." Planet-wide broadcast. Suddenly, every screen on the planet turned on. Every home. Every ship. Every street display. The human commander, Hayes, appeared again. His expression was calm but firm. "This is Earth's final message. Choose peace and we stand down. Choose war and your empire ends today." Every citizen watched. Every soldier watched. Every leader watched. Hayes continued. We do not want domination. We do not want slaves. We do not want territory. We want only one thing, security. He paused for a moment. You attacked us. You killed our people. But we are giving you a chance we never received. A heavy silence followed. Choose wisely. The broadcast ended. The planet held its breath. Inside the council room, the split decision. The council members began arguing, loud, desperate, panicked. We must surrender. No, we must resist. They will destroy us. They bluff. No one has that power. Their weapons, they shut down our entire fleet. We cannot bow to humans. Voices overlapped, filled with fear and pride. Tarek closed his eyes. The noise felt like knives. Finally, he slammed his staff against the floor. Thud. The room fell silent. Tarek spoke slowly, but each word felt heavy. We have to choose survival. Our pride will not save us. Our weapons will not save us. Only peace can save us. The council leader stared at him. General, you truly believe humans can destroy us? Tarek pointed at the sky. Look at them. Their ships speak louder than my words. Varric stepped forward, voice calm but powerful. I fought humans. I survived them. I studied them. And I learned something important. Everyone turned to him. Humans are peaceful, until you threaten what they love. Then they become unstoppable. The council members stared at each other, fear clear in their eyes. Finally, the council leader took a deep breath. We vote. The vote began. Hands rose. Some for war. Some for peace. The final result was close. Too close. But one side won. The answer to humanity. The council leader stepped onto the balcony. The entire world watched. The human ships aimed down at the capital, waiting for the answer. The council leader took a shaking breath and raised his voice. Commander Hayes of Earth. We choose peace. A wave of relief swept through the city. Some cried. Some fell to the ground. Some simply stared at the sky in disbelief. The human ships slowly powered down their weapons. The bright glowing lines faded, leaving only their dark armored hulls shining in the sunlight. Then a final message arrived. Commander Hayes appeared once more. You made the right choice. Earth accepts your decision. The council leader exhaled, almost collapsing. Tarek felt tears in his eyes. Varric closed his fists tightly, grateful. Hayes continued. We will not punish your people. We will not destroy your cities. But we ask for one promise. The council leader bowed his head. Name it. Hayes' voice was calm but carried the full strength of humanity. Never attack Earth again. Everyone in the chamber nodded. We agree. Hayes nodded back. Then this war ends today. The screen disappeared. The human ships slowly pulled away from the capital, rising higher into the sky. But humans left behind one final message, sent to every communication tower. We forgive, but we do not forget. Choose peace and Earth will be your ally. Choose war and Earth will be your end. The Empire's new future. That day became the most important day in the Empire's history. The day they learned fear. The day they learned respect. The day they learned what humanity truly was. When the human fleet finally left orbit, Tarek looked at Varric. So, is this really the end? Varric shook his head slowly. No. This is the beginning. Of what? Varric smiled weakly. A future where humans stand among the stars, and everyone else thinks twice before crossing them. Tarek nodded. Humans, they changed everything. Yes, Varric replied. They always do. And somewhere far above, the human ships vanished into the darkness of space, silent, powerful, and forever watching.